Hello, welcome back to Carl's Place. I am Carl and I'm out of mayonnaise. I don't have time to go to the store, but I have all the ingredients to make some in 2 minutes. Stick with me and I'll show you how. Okay, folks, so I'm very excited to show you how to make your own mayonnaise at home, 2 minutes. Now, well, I mean, normally it would take 2 minutes, but I have to explain some stuff to you in between. So it's going to take me a little bit more than 2 minutes, but normally it would be 2 minutes. So I'm not going to be standing up. I'm just going to sit down, do it right in front of you, pour the ingredients in as I'm explaining them, and make the mayonnaise. Nice and easy. Now, the biggest thing you will need for this is an immersion blender where you can just put it into the container you're going to be using and blend it. It's very difficult to make mayonnaise without this and takes much longer. So I highly recommend you do it this way and you'll have it lickety split. So have your immersion blender ready. Next thing you're going to need is a container. You need something tall. Now, I was going to use a mason jar, but the mason jar's opening isn't wide enough to fit the immersion blender. So because what I usually do when I do make this is I just make it in a plastic tumbler and then put it into a bowl. But I want you to see what's going to happen with the emulsification. And I also want something to store it in. So I came up with this, an old candle holder that I used a long time ago, and I used up all the candle in it, and then I scraped it out and scrubbed it, and I was going to use it for to store rice or sugar or something like that because they make great canisters. So scrub it out. Has no candle smell at all. There's nothing. So it's just pure glass, nice and clean. I'm going to use that as my mayonnaise container, and I think it'll work well because then I can just close it up after and stick it in the fridge. So let's go over the ingredients, and you have to put them in this order. So you will want 1 egg, and yes, raw. Now, if you do some research online, you'll see that a lot of the recipes call for 1 egg yolk, and I'm using the whole egg because if you notice, those recipes that ask for an egg yolk also asks to put in water. And what are egg whites? Egg whites are mostly water. So why are you eliminating the whites and adding water? Just use the whole egg and it's fine. I've done it before, works perfectly. Now, the second part for the egg is some people are afraid to eat raw egg. I've done this many times. I've never gotten sick. It's because I probably because I use pasteurized eggs. And that's what most of the eggs in the regular store or supermarket are. They're pasteurized. So they're eliminating a lot of the bacteria and whatnot that you would be afraid of in a raw egg. Now, if you're using eggs fresh from the farm, something like that, I would do a little bit of research online to see if you're comfortable with doing that. I'm comfortable using this because it's pasteurized and I've never had a problem. So 1 egg, total full egg. It's about a teaspoon of kosher salt, tablespoon of lemon juice, 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard. Add in. And this ingredient you don't have to put in. I put it in because I just like a little, it doesn't give it a hot flavor or really a bite. It just gives it a little pep. So I put in like an eighth of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Not a lot at all. And 1 cup of oil. And I recommend you use a light oil. I'm using vegetable oil here, but canola oil or sunflower oil or grapeseed oil would all work fine as long as it's a light oil. And now you can use olive oil, but you have to remember that olive oil is made up of the little tiny droplets that have strands in them. And some of these strands have a very bitter taste, but they're all locked so closely together that when we're eating olive oil regularly, we don't taste the bitterness because those strands are so tightly locked. When you emulsify it, it literally breaks those strands apart allowing the bitter taste to come through. So I have made it with olive oil before, and it did have a noticeably bitter taste. It wasn't horrible, but you just need to be aware that that may be what you will end up with as an end product, a bitter mayonnaise. So be aware of that, and I suggest using a light oil instead. Now, what I would suggest is if you do want the olive oil flavor, make your mayonnaise the way I'm showing you now, and then you can add some olive oil and hand whisk it in afterwards, and it won't break down those strands, and you'll still have the flavor of olive oil. So you can do it that way. So we're just gonna go ahead and use the regular vegetable oil today. Now you have your ingredients in here first, and you want to pour the olive oil right on the top. Now you have to wait about 30 seconds for all the ingredients to settle to the bottom because you want the oil on top. And when you use your emulsion blender, what you're going to do is you're going to put it all the way to the bottom of your container. When you turn it on, do not mix it, do not turn it, just leave it sitting on the bottom, turn it on, and what's going to happen is it's going to blend the bottom ingredients first, and then it creates a vortex in the blender, and it literally will start pulling the oil into the blender and start your emulsification. You don't have to move this at all. As a matter of fact, if you start moving it, you could mess it up. So stick with the straight down all the way to the bottom. Ready? Actually, I'm going to pull the camera in a little bit closer because I want you to be able to see this up close. Just put your blender, just put it all the way to the bottom, and turn on your blender. Okay, do have to move it just a little bit at the end here because it does get thick. And that's it. Okay, there you have it. And scrape it down a little bit. There you have it. Homemade mayonnaise. And this recipe yields 1 cup. So that gives you quite a few sandwiches. Let's give it a little taste. Just like the store-bought. Noticeably different taste. I have nothing against store-bought. I love store-bought. I use it all the time. But when you want something a little extra special, making your own mayonnaise really brings it. I can't describe it. It tastes like store mayonnaise, but with a little edge. Delicious, absolutely delicious. Now, of course, there are all different kinds of mayonnaise, different flavors of mayonnaise. There's chipotle, there's lemon, there's lime, there's all different kinds, herb mayonnaise. So I highly recommend that you go online and research the different flavors that you can make. I didn't make flavored today because I wanted to give you the base to start from. So you have this, and then you can build on the different flavor mayonnaise from here. And of course, a restaurant will call it, your herb aioli. Aioli's mayonnaise. It's just they're trying to be fancy and make you think you're having something different, which you are. If it's homemade, I guess you can get away with calling it aioli because it's extra special. So we made homemade aioli here. It's mayonnaise. So anyways, I hope you like it. Give it a try and let me know how you make out. And if you liked today's video, which I hope you did, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Help me out, subscribe. And if you have subscribed, don't forget to hit your notification button so you don't miss any future videos from Carl's Place. Have a great day, guys. Bye.